Ready?
Okay, so you ready to dive in?
Always. What have we got?
All right, well, strap in, because today we're going deep on a story that, honestly, sounds more like a movie plot than real life.
Color me intrigued.
We're talking about Pieter Vos and his software company, Rodeo.
Rodeo. Okay, yeah. Rings a bell. It all went down in flames, right? Like spectacularly.
Exactly. That's what makes it so fascinating, right? I mean, on the surface, it looked like Rodeo was a runaway success story.
Yeah, I vaguely remember some buzz about them. Something about crazy revenue numbers and investors throwing money at them.
You're right on the money. Tens of millions in claimed revenue, big-name investors, rapid expansion into Europe, and then the U.S. It was like watching a rocket take off.
Right. And the tech world loves that kind of narrative. The scrappy underdog, disrupting the industry, changing the world.
And Vols, the founder, he fit that mold perfectly. Charismatic, visionary, all the right buzzwords. And then, boom, the whole thing implodes. Turns out pretty much everything he'd built was a lie.
Wait, hold on. Everything. Like fabricated numbers, fake investments, the whole 9 yards.
The whole 9 yards. Inflated revenue, made-up investment figures, you name it. He even fudged the data to make their growth look way more impressive than it was.
Man, that's audacious. But how did he pull it off for so long? You'd think someone, somewhere would have noticed, right?
Right. You would think. I mean, investors aren't exactly known for just handing out money without doing their homework.
But I guess that's where the real story lies, huh? How do you build an empire of lies and convince everyone it's solid gold?
That's what we're going to unpack. And it gets even crazier. When the truth came out, Voss vanished. Gone. Disappeared without a trace.
Whoa, okay, now that's movie-level stuff. So we've got a master manipulator, a company built on smoke and mirrors, and a vanishing act. Where do we even begin?
Well, let's start with the illusion of success. Because to understand how it fell apart, we have to understand how it was built in the first place.
Okay, that makes sense. So paint me a picture. What made Rodeo seem so successful, so promising, at least from the outside looking in?
Right. So remember that quote we talked about earlier? The trees seem to grow to the sky.
Yeah, it was from that profile piece on Voss, right? The one where he's painted as this visionary genius.
That's the one. And it perfectly captures the sentiments surrounding Rodeo. They had this incredible pitch, a software solution that, on paper, seemed revolutionary.
Okay, so a great product, or at least the appearance of one. What else?
Well, Voss was a master networker. He knew how to charm investors, get people excited about his vision. And plus, he was really good at playing the media game.
Ah, so the hype machine. Get people talking, create buzz, and it almost becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? The more people believe in the hype, the more real it seems.
And the craziest part is, some of what Rodeo was doing was legitimately innovative. They had a talented team. They were building interesting tech.
So it wasn't all smoke and mirrors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's part of what makes it so tricky. It wasn't like a completely made-up company. There was a real core there. But Voss, well, he inflated everything to make it seem way bigger and more successful than it actually was.
Yeah. So it's not just a simple case of fraud. It's more complex than that. And that brings us back to the question, how did he get away with it for so long?
Right. And there are a few theories about that. One is that he was just incredibly good at what he did, manipulating people, spinning narratives, covering his tracks.
A real wolf in sheep's clothing. But surely someone should have been looking closer, really.
You'd think so. And some argue that's where the system itself is flawed. The startup world, especially in tech, moves so fast, there's this constant pressure to find the next big thing that sometimes due diligence takes a back seat.
Yeah, I can see that. FOMO, fear of missing out, can drive people to make risky decisions, overlook red flags.
And that's what's so important for our listeners to remember. It's not just about being skeptical of individual entrepreneurs. It's about understanding the dynamics of the system, the pressures that can lead to situations like this.
So a healthy dose of skepticism combined with thorough research, that's the takeaway, right?
Absolutely. But even if you're the most cautious investor in the world, sometimes, like in Rodeo's case, a truly skilled con artist can slip through the cracks.
It's a reminder that we all have blind spots, and that even in a data-driven world, human intuition and judgment are still crucial.
Totally. So we've talked about the illusion, the deception, but there's still this massive unanswered question. What happened to Voss?
Right. 1 minute he's the toast of the tech world, the next, poof, he's gone. Vanished into thin air. What are the theories?
Well, the simplest explanation is that he fled took whatever money he could, and disappeared before the authorities could catch up.
Classic fugitive on the run. Makes sense, but is that all there is to it?
Some folks think there's more to the story. Maybe he had powerful enemies, people who felt cheated and wanted revenge.
Oh, now that's a whole different movie genre. We're talking thriller territory now.
Right. And then there are the more outlandish theories. Witness protection, a secret identity, even elaborate suicide scenarios.
Well, he certainly knew how to craft a good story, so who knows? Maybe he's out there somewhere, living a completely new life, with a new identity, laughing at us all.
It's possible. The truth is we just don't know. And that, I think, is part of what makes this story so captivating. It's not just about a business failure. It's a human mystery.
Yeah.
What drives someone to build such an elaborate web of lies? And what happens to them when it all comes crashing down?
It's a reminder that even in the world of startups and technology where everything seems so logical and data-driven, human behavior is still the biggest unknown.
And that, my friend, is what makes these deep dives so fascinating. We can analyze the numbers, the strategies, but ultimately it's the human element, the motivations, and the mysteries that keep us coming back for more.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So what's our next deep dive? Got another juicy story lined up.
Oh, you better believe it. But that's for another time. Until then, keep digging, keep questioning, and as always, thanks for joining us.
See you next time.